So, good afternoon, sir. I am Shana Marley Buna and I am going to report, we are going to report the chapter 11, which is the onboarding to reading instructions. So, principles of teaching reading. So, any academic undertaking like reading instruction must be anchored on and read against certain principles. The following authorities share their thoughts about this. So, teachers have a good knowledge of the reading process and the stages of reading development can be more confident about how to teach reading and how to relate the foundational areas of knowledge in planning classroom instruction. The teacher should develop a sound based for teaching. Knowledge based for teaching. Adults who can read have greater access to employment, education, social interaction, and entertainment than their non-reading peers. So, the following authorities that share their thoughts about this kind of principles is first Graves 2007. Graves 2007 offers the following instructional principles in teaching reading. So, number one is building positive attitudes and perspectives. So, to achieve this kind of principle, as a teacher, we must encourage positive attitudes about and learn the students' current attitudes. So in a classroom, we must promote reading and create classroom norms that values reading. We must give them books to read, group sharing, and mini lessons for them to be more interactive and enjoys reading. So number two is provide a balanced instructional framework, provide consistent instructional structure, and use time effectively. Number three is provide text that students can read successfully. Give, give them some handouts or reading materials to practice their reading skills. So number four is provide time for word study. Give them time to study on their own and practice on how to pronounce words correctly. Lastly, number five is encourage independent reading. Encourage your students to read independently. So lastly is coordinate intervention, instruction, and classroom instruction. So based naman kay Voynalovich in 1999, he added the following principles of teaching reading. So, the first one is encourage students to read as often and as much as possible. The more students, the better. So, as an educator, we must encourage our students to read every day as long as they have extra or spare time. Number two is students need to be engaged with what they are reading. So it is important that the students need to be engaged with what they are reading for them to easily understand and appreciate what they are reading. Number three is encourage students to respond to the content of a text and explore their feelings about it, not just concentrate on its construction. So as a teacher, we should ask some questions or let your students explain what they feel about the text they've been reading so that they can participate in a class and achieve active learning in a classroom. Number four is prediction is a major factor in reading. When we read text in our language, we frequently have a good idea of the text before we actually start reading. So when we read the text in our own language, we can easily understand and we can have a better idea on what the text is all about. Number five, or the last, is match the task to the topic when using intensive reading text, and good teachers exploit reading text to the full. So when giving a task or activity, it should be related to the topic or to the reading materials we provide to them. So the next one is Shahin in 2000. Shahin posits that just like teaching methodology, reading theories, traditional view, cognitive view, and the metacognitive view have had their shifts and transitions. So starting from the traditional view which focused on the printed form of a text and moving to the cognitive view that enhanced the role background knowledge in addition to what appeared on the printed page, they ultimately culminated in the metacognitive view which is now in vogue. It is based on the control and manipulation that a reader can have on the act of comprehending a text. So, according to Noonan 2001, said that schema theory is based on the notion that past experiences lead to the creation of mental frameworks that help us make sense of experiences. As noted, in activating and building the schemata, the following are emphasized. The pre-reading, which is it involves here the predicting, semantic reconciled reading, the during reading, the skimming, scanning, note-taking guess, analyze vocabulary, and the post-emphasized reading, questions, mind mapping, and summarizing. So, according to Anderson 1994, he presents research showing that recall of information in the text is affected by the reader's schemata and explains that a reader comprehends message when he is able to bring to mind a schema that gives account of the objects and events described in the message. So students can easily understand the text if they are already familiar with the story or they already encountered the happenings in a specific text they are reading. So we will proceed to the next topic, which is on the teaching of reading. So with the aim to improve students' comprehension and enable them to effectively and responsibly function in society, teaching strategies are highly paramount as these facilitate meaningful learning. They have to be judiciously selected considering the student's demographic profile to ensure that the comprehension skills considered as life skills will be assimilated so that students can eventually apply them in a real-life situation. So the following authorities share views and ideas and strategies in the teaching of reading that ensure that this will help students develop their critical and creative thinking skills. According to McEwan 2007, to improve students' reading comprehension, teachers should introduce the 7 cognitive strategies of effective readers like activating. Activating means priming the cognitive pump in order to recall relevant prior knowledge and experiences from long-term memory in order to extract and construct meaning from text. The second cognitive strategies is inferring, which is it brings together what is spoken or written in the text, what is unspoken or unwritten in the text, and what is already known by the reader in order to extract and construct meaning from the text. The third cognitive strategies is monitoring, clarifying, thinking about how and what one is reading, both during and after the act of reading, for purposes of determining if one is comprehending the text combined with the ability to clarify and fix up any mix-ups. Next is questioning, engaging in learning dialogues with text, peers, and teachers through self-questioning, question generation, and question answering. So the next one is searching, selecting. Searching a variety of sources in order to select appropriate information to answer questions, define words and terms, clarify misunderstandings, solve problems, or gather information. The next one is summarizing, restating the meaning of text in one's own words, different words from those used in the original text. The last one is visualizing or organizing, constructing a mental image or graphic organizer for the purpose of extracting and constructing meaning from the text. So the next is Cox J 2007. Cox noted that in order for all of the students to be confident readers, teachers can provide students with a few effective teaching strategies for reading, like utilizing organizers, utilizing technology, activating prior knowledge using a word wall, and student choice. So in order for all the students to be confident readers, as a teacher, you must create an effective teaching strategies for reading, like using technology for reading and to avoid mispronunciation, using graphic organizers for better comprehension, and etc. The next is Barber S. in 2006. So Barber stated that students need good reading skills not just in English but in all classes. She shared some ways you can help them develop those skills. These strategies help ensure that texts appeal to the senses. Teachers guide students in setting read in setting reading goals, vary text length, offer opportunities for reading choice, then assess content and skill. So as a teacher, we must help our students to set their reading goals and offer opportunities to pick a reading materials they want to read. So the last one is Duke and Pearson 2002. They recommend teachers for the ways comprehension is embedded into daily literacy lessons. In his article, a supportive classroom context to promote comprehension must be developed. According to him, teachers need to ensure their students read engaging text for significant amounts of time, select texts for students which support authentic learning, like interest-based or topic-based text, provide a range of text like multimodal, printed based images and animations, graphic representations, video, audio, diagrams or charts, newspapers or magazines, fiction, non-fiction. So for students to read in various genres, like text on different topics or different text types about the same topic. Identify and discuss vocabulary from rich texts with their students. Provide time for students to talk to each other about the text they read and have listened to, and provide time for students to write effect on their reading. So for the students to improve their reading skills, the teacher must give reading materials to the students that align to the students' interests. The students should read some engaging text and provide them some printed text, videos, audio, and etc. And that's all po about my report. Thank you.
So good day everyone, it's me again, Arabia Lipain. So the first is, be conscious of the skills to be developed among the students. These are considered life skills, hence they should be given premium in the teaching learning engagements. So when teaching, it's important to be aware of the skills students need to develop. These skills are often referred to as life skills because they are valuable beyond the classroom. Teachers should prioritize these skills during teaching and learning activities. Next, noting details. Understanding the details will help you understand the selection better. Furthermore, details guide the readers to understand parts of the whole. So noting details means paying attention to specific pieces of information within a text or selection. By understanding these details, readers can grasp the content of the selection more fully. The next is following directions. This skills is putting adherence to what is or are set for order and discipline. So, following directions. These skills is important for maintaining order, organizations, and efficiency in various tasks or activities. By following directions accurately, individuals demonstrate their ability to comprehend and execute tasks as required, contributing to successful outcomes, and effective communication within a group or setting. Then the next is sequencing events. It is the arrangement or proper organization of things and events. If responsibilities are done in proper sequence, things and people become organized and systematic. So, sequence events. By placing responsibilities or tasks in the correct sequence, individuals establish organization and systematic flow. This ensures that actions are carried out efficiently and effectively, leading to smoother processes and better outcomes. Next is distinguishing fact from opinion. A fact is an event or situation that is proven and tested based on data, while an opinion is a personal belief about a person or event or a situation that still needs to be proven. Like, for example, the earth orbits the sun is a fact because it can be scientifically proven. On the other hand, an opinion is a personal belief. Like, for example, chocolate ice cream is the best flavor. It's an opinion because it is based on personal preference and cannot be proven universally true or false. Next, determining cause and effect relationship. This denotes that every action happens based on a cause and the result of the action is the effect. Determining cause and effect relationships. Understanding that every action it is involves understanding that every action, which is the cause, produces a specific outcome and which is the effect. Is recognizing the relationship between events where one event leads to another. Like, for example, if it rains, the cause, the streets become wet, the effect. So understanding this relationship helps us make sense of the world around us and predict outcomes based on certain actions or events. The next is predicting outcomes. It is for foretell what future actions lie ahead based on the present situation. It is therefore important to learn to prepare for future events so as not to be caught in an adverse situation. So, predicting outcomes. By assessing the present situation, individuals can anticipate potential future. By assessing the present situation, individuals can anticipate potential future developments and take proactive measures to prepare for them. For example, if someone notices dark clouds, if for example, if someone notices dark clouds gathering and the wind picking up, they might predict that it will rain soon. So in response, they could prepare by bringing an umbrella or seeking shelter to avoid getting caught in the rain. So predicting outcomes by foreseeing or potential challenges or opportunities, people can take appropriate actions to navigate through them successfully. Next, getting the main idea. It is identifying the gist of the text, thus giving focus to the essentials. So, getting the main idea. When you get the main idea of a text, you grasp the key concepts, arguments, or storyline that the author is trying to convey. When you get the main idea of a text, you grasp the key concepts, arguments, or storyline that the author is trying to convey. This understanding allows you to extract the most important information from the text and ignore less relevant details. And next is skimming and scanning. These skills involve the act of reading that leads to be done fast to get the intended meaning of that selection within a short period of time. So skimming involves rapidly reading through a text to get a general overview or gist of the content. It typically involves reading headings, subheadings, and the first sentences of paragraphs to understand the main points without delving into every detail. Scanning, on the other hand, involves quickly searching a text for specific keywords, phrases, or pieces of information. Then the last is these reading skills are noted as life skills because they are not just applicable in written text situation but in real life as well. Skills because they are not just applicable in written text situation but in real life as well. So the last is know your students. Your ample knowledge on the demographic profile of your students will give you an idea on the kind of reading material to offer based on the sets of competencies, learning activities, and scaffolds differentiated if possible, and its attainability within a given time frame. So know your students means understanding who your students are, their backgrounds, abilities, and learning styles. With this knowledge, teachers can choose appropriate reading materials and tailor learning activities and support to match students' needs. This involves considering their competencies and ensuring that the material is achievable within a reasonable time frame. Teachers may also differentiate instruction, meaning they adjust their approach to meet the diverse needs of their students. That would be all for my part. Thank you for listening.
Good day, sir. I am Elizares Madanga, and today I will going to tackle the following major stages as well as the sample activities in the teaching methodology. Pre-reading. This is a lead-in stage that allows the reader to activate their prior knowledge and create a scheme based on upcoming selection of to be taken up. So when we say pre-reading stage is ga-aim siya para maging activate and prior knowledge then mag-create og framework for understanding the upcoming text. There are suggested activity para sa pre-reading First is vocabulary words or critical vocabulary. These are the unfamiliar word found in the selection reading materials. So, para mabawaan sa student or para ma-understand niya tong materials na iyang ginabasa is need ang context clues. So, when we say context clues, these are clues that help the students understand the meaning of unfamiliar words. They are used in meaningful situations as related to the text. So, very important ang context clues kay makahelp siya sa students para mabawaan niya ang mga unfamiliar word. They come in the form of definition, explanation, synonyms, antonyms, and appropriate. So, if the student can understand the unfamiliar word, what more if picture clues ang ilang makita? So, the picture clues is images representing unfamiliar word can be shown to give an idea of what the word means. So, if ang learner go wonder if unsa to na unfamiliar word nga iyang nabasa, if once may nakita siya na picture na represent atong unfamiliar word, mas magka-idea and ang student sa iyang nakita through picture clue. So, next is configuration clues. These are figures represented by short and long boxes that correspond to the size of the letter in the given word. So, ang configuration clues kay maon na ni imong nakita in person or imo jong magunitan na correspond sa tong unfamiliar words, so mas masabtan jud sa learner or student. The next one is directed reading activity. It is a comprehension strategy that guides students in asking questions about a text, making prediction, and then reading to confirm or refute their prediction. The DRTA process encourages students to be active and thoughtful reader, enhancing their comprehension reading rockets. So in this paragraph, it it explain kung paunsa ang student makabalo mag-comprehend about sa iyang ginabasa. This process kay ang student ma-encourage and maging active kag thoughtful reader. So, the second is anticipation guide. It is a comprehension strategy that is used to active student prior knowledge and build curiosity about new topics. So, before reading, students listen to the read several statements about key concept presented in the text. They're often structured as a series of statements with which the student can choose to agree or disagree. So ang anticipation guide stimulate niya ang students interest sa topic and set a purpose for reading. So very helpful ang anticipation guide kay gahatag og interest sa bata or sa student para maminaw kag magbasa sa concept presented in the text. So, next is during reading. These are the reading strategies and activities during the reading. So, first is page encounter. After reaching each page of the reading material, students in pair discuss, share, and experience in peers about part of materials read. So, pagkahuman magbasa sa students sa each page, naa sila ma-discuss or ma-share sa ilang nabasa or makarelate sila kumbaga after they proceed reading and will be the same time. So second is reading interface. This strategy can be done when students read the materials alternately in pairs or two big groups. So, ang oral reading, ang bagay ani na strategy kay gahatag nig importance sa inani na mga activity. So, in the process, they can take turns in asking questions. The last one is visualizing. Visualizing highlights. When the teacher students reads the selection, the other student illustrate the important events on paper. So, based in my experience during reading, ma-illustrate jud nako ang mga important events sa paper or sa materials na akong ginabasa. So, next is post-reading. This strategy of reading activity is done after a story selection is read. So, since reading is basically comprehension, we have two following activities para mag-help kag mag-assess sa student para ma-understand niya ang reading materials na iyang ginabasa. So, first is dimensional question. After reading and discussing the story and realization of its competences, the teacher assess how much the student have learned. So, diri na ma-recognize ang tinuod, why ang mga event na hitabo. So, diri na ang mga question kag mga nasabtan sa student sa ilang ginabasa. So, ang teacher gyud ang ga-assess sa student para mabaw-an kung paunsa or kung unsa nakadako ang na-learn sa students through reading. So next is, and the last one is graphic organizer. These are illustration that the student can use to capture their understanding of story competences. So diri na part or diri na last na part kay makita kag ma-prove gid na if naabay na understand si learner sa iyang ginabasa. So diri na mag-base sa graphic organizer kung naa-jud ba na understand ang learner. So that's all for my part. I hope you understand my discussion. Thank you for listening. God bless.